Hi there. As a part of my today's podcast, I will deliver to you a speech that I had at the philosophical rally organized at the Catholic University of Lublin in July. Hello, my name is Marcin Garbowski, and apart from being a PhD student, I happen to fancy an internet trolling. The most concise way of describing myself is partly philosopher, partly comedian, partly politician, half Canadian. The title of my speech is Internet Trolling as a Form of Popularizing Philosophy. In today, when academic philosophical discourse is regressing, the natural curiosity and human urge to exercise their minds must find different venues for manifesting itself. It shall be no great revelation to say that the quickest expanding platform for the exchange of information and opinion is now the Internet. Due to the fact that in its early stages the World Wide Web was primarily dedicated to supporting academic institutions, it can be safely stated that philosophical content was present there since such a tool as the Internet became available for civilians in the early 90s. So there is a wide variety of texts, journals, and even philosophical encyclopedias, like the Stanford Encyclopedia, available online. However, the more the Internet has been becoming interactive, the more read-only or watch-only materials have been becoming passé. With the proliferation of social media, memes, and mobile devices, information had to become short, condensed, and easily digestible, so to speak. Can philosophy, with its pursuit of wisdom, find a place in this more and more intense digital world? Well, the fact of the matter is that, as with any tool, the Internet is a double-edged sword. So the new capabilities can enable anybody, including philosophers, to influence a wide variety of users to any end that they fancy. And one of the most cost-effective methods of spreading information over the Internet is via so-called trolling, which can occur practically in any venue where interactivity on the web occurs, be it a mailing list, internet forum, guest book of a blog or company, and now, ever more so, on the walls of Facebook profiles. Before we head on to describing potential benefits for philosophy, perhaps not as an academic subject but a field of knowledge, it is necessary to answer the question, who is a troll, in the meaning that we would like to examine. For we are obviously not discussing issues connected to creatures from Scandinavian folklore. Wikipedia provides a relatively concise definition of internet trolling, or an internet troll per se. In internet slang, a troll is a person who sows discord on the internet by starting arguments or upsetting people by posting inflammatory, extraneous, or off-topic messages in an online community, such as a newsgroup, forum, chatroom, or blog, with a deliberate intent of provoking readers into an emotional response, or of otherwise disrupting normal on-topic discussion. This sort of behavior is unfortunately often mistaken with a hater, who, although could classify as a troll to a certain degree, is basically focused on provoking discussion on various topics, not on provoking discussions on various topics, but on providing negative feedback on a topic or person. Typically, hate is a mix of biased opinions, derogatory terms, and even threats to the interlocutor. In heuristic terms, we would say that a hater uses exclusively ad hominem or ad baculum arguments to baffle or humiliate a given person. This is not the case with a troll, whereas in order for a hater to be effective at intimidating an object, he or she needs to act as a part of a wider collective, to make the impression that a given object is widely detested for some reason or another. Obviously, an object, person, or institution may provoke hate spontaneously on a large scale, this way transforming regular internet users into haters, but a troll has to act with an intention to provoke a reaction. The more skilled the troll, the less obvious the intentions are. Also, the greater reaction. This means that a troll should be able to provoke a discussion which may engage two sides of an argument completely not connected with him. There are obviously trolls who post provocative content for the sake of concentrating attention on their person by internet users and sometimes the media, but these are usually regular scandalists, delicately described as attention seekers, whose prime goal is to acquire recognizability at all costs, not necessarily through sowing discord. So to sum up, what makes trolls similar to haters or attention seekers is the fact that the means used by these internet dwellers are similar, and these I shall more thoroughly describe in the later part of my speech. The main difference is the focus of the activity. Haters concentrate on the depreciation of the object. Attention seekers concentrate their efforts on increasing their own recognizability, and trolls focus on the message delivered. The boundaries between these various types of activities are obviously quite fluid. Because, for instance, when I posted a YouTube response concerning a podcast by a blogger called Keltus on antinatalism, which was supposed to stir a discussion on a philosophical issue defended by this particular podcaster, I was intending to troll him and his followers, but also I acted like an attention seeker. So getting to the topic of methods used by online trolls, the most obvious method of trolling is posting provocative comments on internet forums, producing and publishing memes or graphic content as well as videos. Quite often, this content is on the boundary of a law or ethics. This is why, similar to haters, trolls often use fictional accounts, and a troll account is associated with an incomplete or phony social media account used predominantly for online mischief. Okay, so if internet trolling is such a nasty activity, why should philosophers have any interest in it or even engage in it? First and foremost, because it's cheap. It's a cheap and effective way to provoke people to think. Obviously, people can be provoked to think in a way which is desired by a given group of interests. For instance, trolls can be used as information war agents who stir a certain emotion in a given population for spreading government or corporate sponsored propaganda in such a way that it seems to come from independent sources. Examples of such wars are abound on the internet. The anti-vaccination movement fighting the pro-vaccination fans, atheists versus religious, global warming believers against global warming deniers, etc. Once such groups get established, it's actually a time and place when a philosopher might enter to declare statements which are contrary to the overall opinion of a group. For example, behaving like a supporter of creationism on a group or under a post consisting of evolutionism supporters, or talk about the benefits of eating meat on a vegetarian forum. This can be done simply to force people to justify, one way or another, their beliefs and provoke them to think. There are certain examples of trolling which turned out to have a very important message and worked as successful social experiments. There was a case where a company hired an actress to behave like a bigoted religious old lady in a series of YouTube videos. The series of movies provoked a flood of threatening responses to this old woman, but when it all turned out to be a hoax, the same people who were at first hostile started apologizing and feeling bad about themselves. This simple trick played on the internet users, which turned them into regular haters, showed the users their hypocritical approach, as if it were okay to be nasty to an older woman who was authentically prejudiced for some reason or another, but it was not okay to behave the same way towards an actress tricking those internet users. Another example of a troll is a podcaster called Testaviran, who used to regularly post YouTube videos with a message stating that Polish people are at large primitive, full of complexes, and aggressive. Although the posts were offensive towards Polish people, these very users from Poland proved his point, attacking him in the comments section, threatening his life, etc. I would argue that trolling, especially on topics concerning issues important for the human condition, such as worldview aspects of public policy and ethics, is one of the more effective ways of introducing philosophical concepts to the public realm. To a certain degree, it is a return to the midwife method of discussion which Socrates used when speaking to the people of Athens on the street. The internet, especially Facebook, is the contemporary agora, where philosophers have a chance to not only brag about their knowledge, but actually change the way people think. If the Russians can use internet trolls to promote their version of what is going on in the Ukraine to the West, why can't philosophers promote the love of knowledge this way? So trolling can be also a way of life, where quite a few philosophy graduates could find their dream job.